I know a lot of y'all waiting on me to make a statement. I just got a call from the district attorney's office, man. They asking me to come in, sit down, and give them a detailed statement of everything that happened. I hung up the phone and called my people. I told them I'm not going down there making no statements and shit like that. My family say if you don't go down there and make some statements to make sure your children safe, they ain't fucking with me no more. But if I go down there and make a statement, I'm a rat.
This woman escaped from a home here on this street in just her underwear, according to investigators. She claims to have been held captive for days by a man who we have now confirmed through court records is rapper Cartel Bo.
Now hold that image, because weeks later, that same woman stood on the other side of it and told the world she made the whole thing up. Watch the reversal.
Yeah, Keith and Corley, this woman initially claimed to have been locked in a closet for days, but now she has provided statements to rapper Cartel Bo's defense team, taking it all back, which prosecutors say she may have done under pressure just before today's hearing.
So which is it? Was she held in a dead-bolted closet for 4 days and forced to escape half-dressed? Or did she lie to the police and take it all back on her own? That is the question a Houston courtroom is trying to answer right now. And the man at the center of it is a rapper who already did years in federal prison. So let us walk this thing from the very beginning. The man everybody is talking about goes by Cartel Bo, and before that he went by NFL Cartel Bo. His government name is Warren Brown, reported most often as Warren Trammell Brown II, and he came up on the northeast side of Houston in the Lakewood area, which is not the kind of place that hands you an easy start in life. He has told his own story plenty of times, and in his own words, the streets raised him long before any record label did. He talks about a childhood with almost no stability, a mother who had him when she was still a teenager, and a grandmother who ended up doing most of the raising. Listen to him lay it out himself.
Man,
in the north side.
Man, really, Lakewood raised me, bro. My granny raised me. You know, my mama had me in high school, you feel me? So when she had me, you know, she had me, after she had me, she got pregnant with my sister.
By his own telling, the block he grew up on was tied to a Houston gang set, and the violence found him early. When he was 17 years old, somebody hit him in the leg with a shotgun, and he has said he taught himself how to walk again after it. He carries that with him, and you can hear it when he brings it up.
I gotta have my leg blew out of the game, bro. You feel me? I ain't supposed to be here 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? For real, bro.
The stuff he has said about those early years is heavy. He has talked about being passed from home to home with almost no parent around, about a man his mother was with beating him for years until his grandmother stepped in, and about his mother having her own run-ins with the law. He also came out the other side of it, becoming the first in his family to finish high school before the streets pulled him back, and he leaned on music as the way up. He has been clear that he does not glorify the war wounds he carries, and that what he really wants is out.
I got hit with a pump at a young age, man. It was a club. I don't want to talk too much about that. You know, we're going to leave that where it said, you feel me? But I got shot with a gauge.
That is the man on one side of this story.
I'm tired of this shit, man. Ain't no more relationships. We doing deals. From now on, we doing deals. Here's the motherfucking deal. Baby, I'm gonna buy you whatever the fuck you want. I'm gonna put you whatever the fuck you want. I'm gonna get you whatever the fuck you want. You going to the dealership. We going shopping. We going looking for houses. We gonna get rent houses, but we gonna go buy houses too. We gonna see what house you looking for getting forever. We gonna look what houses you wanna be in right now. We gonna get you comfortable. We gonna rub your feet. We gonna get your feet rubbed. It's time to fly out. What that bag? Show me that bag you wanna get in. Send that bag to my motherfucking phone. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I need you to do. This is the deal though. This is a deal. There's only one way. Shut the fuck up. You get everything. If you can shut the fuck up, you get whatever you want, baby. All you gotta do is be quiet. Just shut the fuck up. If you can shut the fuck up and let a king be a king, You can get whatever the fuck you want, baby. I swear to God on everything I love. This is the ain't no more relationship. This the deal. Just shut the fuck up. We ain't doing no more relationships. This is a deal. And it's gonna be contractual. You gonna sign, bitch. You run your mouth, it's over with. You lose everything. But if you could just manage to shut the fuck up, you can get whatever you want, baby. You think you ready for this shit? You think you ready for this bags and this lifestyle? You think you ready? Bro, go get that money out that bag, Lee. You think you ready for this motherfucking shit? You think you think you can handle this shit, baby? It's something serious, you know what I'm saying? For real, all over the world. You go on tours, we finna blow you up. You need calendars. We need to be setting calendars and prints out there. Bring me that money, bitch. For real, you can get whatever you want. Whatever the fuck you want, baby.
The other woman is Alexia Valdez, who a lot of people in the Houston scene know as Trill Celda Blanco, a dancer and content creator who built her own following online through clubs, podcasts, and adult content. She and Bo were together on and off for years, the kind of relationship that ran hot and cold in front of everybody, and the two of them share 3 children, though it was actually Bo's aunt who ended up with custody of the kids. This was not a quiet couple. Back in 2025, Bo went on Instagram and posted a whole list of men he claimed she had messed with, and she fired right back, accusing him of putting his hands on her in the past, including while she was pregnant, and even saying he tried to have her committed. So the tension between them was already loud, already messy, and already public long before anybody said the word kidnapping. Keep both of those people in your head, because everything that comes next is the collision between them. To understand why the police took the closet claims so seriously, you have to understand who Warren Brown already was to them. Years before any of this, back in 2018, Bo was the lead rapper in a music video shot at Lakewood Park, right next to an elementary school, and that video turned into one of the strangest federal cases Houston had seen in a while. The cast was not actors, it was real men with real records, holding real loaded guns as props while kids were getting out of school nearby. Watch how the news framed it at the time.
The problem, their cast was made up of gang members using real guns, loaded guns, as props. Styling themselves as Maxo Cream and NFL Cartel Bo, the featured rappers chose Lakewood Park next to Hilliard Elementary School to shoot their video.
Somebody driving by saw men waving guns and called it in, and when police pulled up, most of the crew scattered and left 8 loaded guns behind on the basketball court. 2 months later, the video dropped online, got millions of views, and then became the exact thing that sank them, because investigators sat there and matched faces in the footage to the guns left at the scene. Listen to how many people that video put in cuffs.
20 have been charged with illegal possession of weapons, including rapper NFL Cartel Bo, also known as Warren Brown, a convicted felon. Brown was charged with illegally possessing 2 assault rifles and with threatening a police officer on the way to jail. He was released on bond in order to wear an ankle monitor.
Before the feds ever took over, the state side of that case got even messier for Bo, because after he was let out on bond to wear an ankle monitor, police say he cut the thing off and even turned in fake urine for a court-ordered drug test, which is the kind of move that tells you how little he was trying to play by the rules back then. Once the federal government stepped in, the state charges were dropped and everything got pulled into one big conspiracy case. That case went federal. Bo pleaded guilty and he was handed a sentence of 78 months, which is about 6.5 years in federal prison, the longest term of anybody in the group because he was the face of the video. He served most of it and came home in early 2024, and one of the first things he did was drop the NFL from his name because he understood that the feds had treated that label like a gang badge, and he did not want that hanging over his neck a second time. He signed a new deal, started stacking features and projects with names Houston knows, and looked like a man actually building something. That is the redemption run he was on when everything fell apart again. The trouble started in late June of 2026. Valdez had met up with Bo to pick up their young son and called an Uber to get away afterward. What the driver says he saw next is ugly, and it's the reason there were already warrants out with Bo's name on them. Watch how it gets described in court records.
Right now, the Houston rapper known as NFL Cartel Bo is facing new felony charges for allegedly kidnapping his girlfriend. The rapper, whose real name is Warren Brown, was already behind bars on a misdemeanor charge for assaulting an Uber driver that police say witnessed Brown attacking his girlfriend while she was trying to pick up their child. Court documents say the kidnapping took place more than a month after that attack.
According to those documents, the driver watched Valdez run for the car holding the baby's car seat, then watched Bo grab her, and when the driver stepped in, he got punched over and over and was threatened. Then, weeks later, on or around July 21st, the far heavier allegation lands. Investigators say Bo took Valdez to a home on Darby Retreat Lane in Cypress and locked her inside with a deadbolt, checking on her every hour and refusing to leave. She only got out, they say, because Bo himself left the house and got pulled over. Watch how the escape is described.
At this home on Darby Retreat Lane, a woman says the father of her children locked her in a closet for at least 4 days, only able to escape after he left and got pulled over.
That traffic stop was Harris County Precinct 4 deputies catching up to those old June warrants, and it put Bo in the county jail without him even knowing the walls of his own case were about to close in. Once Bo was gone and locked up, Valdez broke out of that closet, and the details of how she was found are what turned this from a domestic call into a full investigation. She flagged down a neighbor who fed her and stayed with her until help came, and she was later found near a Waffle House, still in those cuffs, before an ambulance took her to the hospital. Around the same window in the early morning hours, Bo's aunt placed a 911 call that reportedly started as a welfare or missing person concern and then grew into a kidnapping report. And that call is what sent deputies and their special victims unit out to the house in the first place. Deputies then searched that Cypress home and said what they found inside matched the story of someone held against their will. Watch the deputies walk through it.
As they discovered, according to court records, zip ties, a closet with a deadbolt, and fast food wrappers inside.
There was more than that. A search warrant referenced a mattress soaked in urine and rotten food in the home, the kind of thing investigators pointed to as proof that somebody had been stuck in there for days. And when she got out, the state she was found in told its own story. Watch how the evidence and her condition were laid out in court.
Before Precinct 4 investigators say she escaped the home in only her underwear and handcuffs. She flagged down a neighbor and allegedly claimed to have been sexually assaulted, according to a search warrant. Inside, investigators found a urine-soaked mattress and rotten food.
On top of all of that, prosecutors brought a photo into the courtroom, and it was hard to look at. Watch how both sides went to war over what it meant.
This disturbing photo showed in court Monday captured bruises covering the legs of the woman allegedly held captive by rapper Cartel Bo, also known as Warren Brown. Both sides offered very different explanations for the bruises. Prosecutors say they came from beatings, but the defense says they were caused by rough sex and her work as a dancer.
So the state says beatings, and the defense says her dancing and rough sex. And the defense also argued the handcuffs came from adult content the couple made together, not from any kidnapping. This is where the case gets slippery, because the same woman who told police she was held captive turned around and signed a sworn statement saying none of it happened, that she was under the influence when she first talked, and that the police pressured her into it. And here is the part the state could not let go of. They say Bo got to her from behind bars. Watch what prosecutors claim he did.
Prosecutors claim days before the hearing, Brown allegedly used a different inmate's credentials to make jail calls to the victim, urging her to sign an affidavit of non-prosecution and record a video statement.
If you have never sat close to a domestic violence case, a victim taking back her story might sound like proof that the story was fake, but people who work with survivors say it is one of the most common things that happens, and it does not mean nothing happened. Listen to how a trauma therapist put it right there on the news.
Urging her to sign an affidavit of non-prosecution and record a video statement. Chow Win is a trauma therapist. How common is it for a victim in a case involving possible domestic violence to recant?
It's actually a lot more common than you think, and it's actually quite alarming.
Bo's defense team leaned all the way into that recantation, calling the new material they brought in very good for their client, and arguing that the state's whole case really rested on one woman's word, a woman who was now telling everybody it did not happen. They also pushed back on prosecutors leaning on his rap lyrics and his old videos, saying you cannot treat a man's music like a confession. Prosecutors did not blink. They pointed to her being financially tied to Bo, to a history of abuse claims between the two of them, and to the fact that the mattress, the food, the deadbolt, and the way she came out of that house do not change just because she signed a paper. That is the tightrope a judge has to walk. In Texas, a woman signing a paper saying she does not want to press charges does not automatically end the case, because the state can still move forward on the physical evidence. An aggravated kidnapping down here can carry anywhere from 5 years all the way up to life in prison, which is why the stakes on this one are so high. There was also a separate misdemeanor case tied to the Uber driver moving through the courts around the same time, so the judge kept Bo locked up with no bond, and the reason prosecutors gave for that decision is the coldest, simplest line in the whole story. Listen to it.
They say that if Brown is released, the only question then becomes what happens to this victim next.
For now, all of it stays an allegation because nothing has been proven in front of a jury, and the man at the center of it is still sitting in Harris County Jail waiting on his day in court. What you believe probably comes down to which version of that woman you trust, the one who ran into the street in handcuffs, or the one who later looked into a camera and said, "Forget everything I said." Drop your honest take in the comments, and if you or somebody close to you has ever been talked into taking back the truth, your side of this might help the next person see theirs a little clearer.
My family say if you don't go down there and make some statements to make sure your children safe, they ain't fucking with me no more. But if I go down there and make a statement, I'm a rat. The reason they need me to make a statement is because they had to look into the paperwork as far as custody concerns to see if she categorized for kidnapping, and due to the fact that she lost custody and I have full custody, it's kidnapping. I don't know what to do for real, bro. They both went for assault. It's attempted kidnapping of a child. It'll be burglary. I think they said burglary of a motor vehicle, but I know it's burglary because she opened my door, and that's what they said. I know trespassing, but they trying to get all the cases they want, and they need me to make a detailed description of everything that happened in order to put the video footage and line it up with the case they want to come at them people with. And I'm lost, gang. I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, just truth be told, the only reasons they even got their footage is because they was lying, saying I punched her in the stomach and all that type of shit. So I had to show them the footage to show I never put my hands on her. And that's what got her and him booked. Police say he's an Uber driver. They don't understand the deepness and details of their relationship. I don't really give a fuck. I just don't know what to do. Do I go down here and give these people a statement? Or do I sit here and just, have some family members cut me off because I didn't want to go down here and what they quote unquote say do what's best for my child? with my children. I'm just at loss, man. Shit a lot, bro. I can't do no rat shit, though. I don't understand why they need me and they got the video footage anyway, but I'm just lost right now, bro.